not in any direct way. When you use your own experience, you might say, to paint things in a fictional way, you're always sort of, you take your understanding of this, not only from your own experience, from other things that you've seen and heard, but you embody it within this fictional person. You know who this person is, you know, where they come from, why they do what they do. Now, for instance, Brianna and Claire have often had a slightly more strained relationship than I've luckily ever had with my daughters. We get on very well. But this is because of who Brianna is. You know, there was quite a bit of, you know, obfuscation, if not outright lying, in her youth, which she realized as just as a very young adult woman. And of course, she's going to have a certain amount of difficulty with this. Also, being taken from a man whom she, you know, adored and revered as her father, suddenly discovering that he wasn't her father, and this other man is her father, with whom her mother, you know, evidently had been having what she considers an adulterous affair, which in fact she was. And you know, this is going to give a kid a certain amount of problem. Okay, now I've never had problems like that in my own family, thank God, but I can easily imagine what the response would be. And not so much from looking at my own daughters, but from remembering what my own responses were like as a young woman of 17, 18, 19. And my own mother died when I was 19, you know, so that's a fraught, you know, period. I understand exactly how vulnerable one feels at that area. Oh, those are the very deeply emotional scenes that I can sort of feel coming. I know they're there by necessity. For instance, in one of the most difficult I can remember was in Voyager, when Claire goes back to the past, leaving her adult but young daughter behind. And of course, this is a terrible wrench. You know, I can, because of my own experiences with my mother and you know, having daughters of that age and so forth, I can realize just how wrenching this would be. And I realized, you know, she could not leave without some sort of farewell. But it probably wouldn't be a face-to-face farewell. I mean, she would say goodbye and all that, but you would kind of feel this urge to leave maternal advice. And so I realized she would have to write a letter to her daughter. And so I could feel this coming. And I was saying, I don't want to do that. You know, I just don't want to live through that. And so eventually, yeah, it was a necessity. It had to be there. And the only way I can write those scenes is to wait until they just become inevitable. And then I write them late at night with tears running down my face.